We are here with John Muller, head coach for men's baseball team. After their split against Mount St. Mary, 4-game set this weekend, the Dolphins went 2-2. So, John, first question I want to ask you. A lot of pitchers pitched this weekend, obviously, 4 games. I want to start with Peter Sanderson first. I know high expectations for him. He's one of your stalwarts in the rotation. What did you see out of him in his first start of the season?
I thought he looked good. He's obviously had some back issues, which is why he hasn't started pretty much every weekend going into this weekend. But he's been feeling good. He worked himself up to a 5-inning pen into this game. I thought he was throwing strikes. I think first time out there it's not going to be what he's going to look like in 2 or 3 starts from now. But I thought it was good for what he's been going through. He's been going through a lot of pain. He's had a lot of pain. He's been dealing with a lot of stuff. So he's worked his butt off to get to this point. I was very confident in the fact that he was going to be able to do a good job, and I felt he did. I just felt we didn't do what we needed to do around him.
Gotcha. So, Sanderson was somebody who we had a lot of high hopes for, still do, but somebody who's been really stepping up into that number 1 spot is Aiden Rice. I mean, we talk about him every week at this point. Mm-hmm. Again, got another win this week, went 7 innings, 6 strikeouts over that span. Talk about him again. I mean, he's just been so impressive in this early going so far.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing what we thought he was going to do. He works quick. He throws a lot of strikes, throws a breaking ball for a strike. He's a really good competitor. I feel like I'm repeating myself over and over again. So are you with the questions.
Yeah.
But, he's doing his job. He's working his butt off week to week. He's getting himself ready. He's prepared. He gets out there. He follows through with the game plan, where we're calling pitches, where we're doing things, and he does a really good job. I don't expect it to stop. I think one thing, that what we went through this weekend, that was the best offensive team we've faced yet. 100%. That team didn't strike out. That team was putting balls in play. Mount St. Mary did a really good job on the offensive end this week. So I think just seeing how Aiden pitched against them compared to a lot of the other guys, the way we were getting hit a little bit, not a little bit, but a good amount throughout the weekend. I think Aiden, showed kind of who he really was and what he can do.
So staying on the theme of pitching again, so going into that 4th game, down 1-2 in the series, and then you put Pedro Fortoso, senior, on the mound to get that start for the 4th game, obviously going in there looking for a win. And he's another one, performed really well. 6 innings pitched, 5 strikeouts, gave you a lot of length in that game. So talk about him as a senior, somebody who I know has played, he's been a third baseman in the past, he's been an offensive player, but obviously transitioning as a pitcher now. So talk about his performance.
Yeah, Pedro's a very good pitcher. He does a lot of things. He's starting to throw a little bit harder. He throws a split, throws a breaking ball. He threw his breaking ball really well this weekend. He's a guy we have a lot of confidence in. You saw him in the first series. The thing that's so difficult here, like you said, you usually have a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. You have set bullpen guys. You have a lot. You really can't do that this year with COVID. So Pedro it was his turn. You know what I mean? Aiden's obviously pitching really well, so you're going to throw him, every, game. Geiger was doing a good job, so he was going to throw. Now you got Peter thrown into the mix, so, you got those 3 guys. Amir was always one of those guys, but Amir too, with Pedro, he hasn't had his chance to get out there really yet and start a game, and that was it. I almost used him in the game before to keep the game closer, but then I kept telling myself I want to see what this guy can do, for a longer period of time. Because in the long run, we're going to need guys. We need to figure out right now who are going to be the starters, who are going to be the guys that are going to take us to the 5th or 6th inning every game. And Pedro showed that, and we're giving a lot of other guys opportunities too. But I think going into, once we get back from Easter break, you'll start to see more of a set rotation where, hey, all right, we figured out now who's performing well in the season, who we're going to ride out, as our top 4 starters, and how the middle of the pen's going to work and the back end of the pen's going to work. That's one thing this season's a little tricky.
So last question on the pitching. You mentioned giving a lot of guys an opportunity. 3 guys that stood out to me, young guys. Joe DeCandia, Ivan Navarro both pick up saves in the 2 wins. Connor Piotrowski also had a good outing as well. So it's not only these front-end guys that are really performing for you. It's some of these young back-end reliever-type players. Speak on their performances and just what do you expect out of these back-end of the bullpen type guys?
Okay, so I'll start off with Connor. He pitched the last 2 innings. He's warmed up almost every game. We have a lot of faith in him. We have a lot of trust in him. I think he's a very good pitcher. It's just like I said, Same thing with DeCandia. He was a starter his freshman year when we were playing a regular season set. DeCandia will start on Thursday, and so will Vila. Who was the other third guy you asked about?
Ivan Navarro, all speculative to say.
So you got the way we have 20-something pitchers on the staff. So to find time for all these guys, it's been difficult in a 3-game set. Luckily we got to the 4th game for the first time, so you get to see Pedro, you get to see a little bit more of the other guys, you get to see Ivan. Connor finally got his way into the game. So I think you're gonna see a good amount of them. I think they're gonna do a really good job. They've looked really well. They've pitched really well in the gym. They've gotten better. Connor's made huge strides since he's got here, this being his sophomore year. Ivan looked great in the fall. This is his freshman year. He's looked great in the fall. He's going to throw strikes too. And then Joe DeCandia, I think, is one of the better pitchers we have too. He showed it last year. It's just we haven't gotten to the 4th game yet. This was the first week we got to the 4th game. So it's the first week we really got to extend some guys or get some more guys some opportunities. I think going into Thursday, like I said, you're going to see DeCandia start. You're going to see Vila start. We're going to give them those opportunities to try to get to the 4th and 5th inning. You're going to see some guys come out of the pen that you haven't seen yet. You're going to see some guys on the offensive end that you really haven't seen yet. Just trying to give them an opportunity to get in the game and show me what you can do. And then maybe, we have a lot of guys doing well, but there's some spots in our lineup still that we need to fill the gaps in to get a little bit higher performance, out of some guys. So I'm looking for Thursday to see a lot of the arms that you haven't seen yet, a lot more DeCandia, a lot more Vila, some of the guys like Petrowski who haven't gotten a chance to pitch yet, who we know who can do well. Let's see what they can do.
So shift gears, offense now. As you said, you're bringing up the offense a little bit in this conversation. In the game yesterday, the 2 games yesterday, at Baseball Heaven, 4 home runs, 2 by Mike Grisanti, obviously somebody who we expect. Nacero, another 1, home runs. Eric Zimmerman added 1 as well. Power bats came alive despite the 1-1 split, so kind of just break down that performance over there.
Yeah, we hit well. We kept getting down, and in the beginning our defense, kept us down a little bit. We had to battle back. We kept battling back, and then we just were struggling getting the strikeouts. We didn't get many strikeouts. We didn't get many big outs towards the end of the game with the pitching. So, the hitting was there. Grisanti did what he always does. Zimmerman's been doing a great job hitting the ball as well. He usually does it. Nacero, statistically, if you look at these papers, he probably didn't have the best day in the world. I think the home run was the only hit he has, but I think he hit a line drive to every single fielder on the field. So offensively, we did what we were supposed to do. Offensively, there's really no issues there. Even though it was a split, is a split terrible? No. For us, I think we expected more. But offensively, it was on point to where we wanted to be. The biggest issue was just the defense. Sure.
So, you spoke to me today earlier, kind of put this in my head, which I did not realize. Not only did Jake Blindstrup win Player of the Week, for the Skyline Conference, but both he and Matt DeNorcia rank in the top 10 batting average in the country right now, as well as an offense as total 8th in the country, right? You said 7th in the country as total offense. Guys are firing on all cylinders. How do you really, were you expecting this, I guess, is one part of this question. And 2, how do you kind of keep this momentum just going on offense?
To be honest with you, I was. The ranks in the country I never think about. I didn't think about that until someone brought it up to me this morning. I wouldn't even have looked unless someone brought it up to me this morning. But yeah, I was expecting it. I have high expectations from the guys that we have in the lineup. Like I talked about the character and the heart and all those things. These guys put the work in. These guys care about what they're doing. They take it like it's their job. They compete. They want to win. I think it's pretty adamant in the dugout how bad they want to win. They want to compete. They want to bring the program to another level. So offensively, and on the pitching too, but offensively, they take it personal. They take practice personal. They want to be the best version of themselves every day, and they listen. They care. They work hard. So I did expect them to hit very well. I did expect the numbers that we have. While they're outstanding, they're probably a little bit higher than anybody's expectations could really be. But I knew we were going to do what we're doing right now.
So last question before we get out of here. Again, like we said, 2-2 split against Mount St. Mary. Have 2 more coming up on Thursday. What are you expecting out of this game? These 2 games, I should say.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that, I'm hoping that we play a little better defense. I think, it hasn't been a full-scale problem with defense. It's been one inning here, one inning there. I'm hoping that, our pitching can continue to grow. Our pitching can continue to battle and compete, be more competitive within the strike zone, and just make better pitches. I think that will make a major difference. I think the first few games, I know the first few games we wasn't perfect, but we were executing a lot more pitching wise. We were executing a lot more location. We were throwing breaking balls for a strike on a much higher rate. We were controlling the run game very well. This weekend, I don't think we did that as well. And I told the guys at the end of the game, we've had maybe 1 or 2 games this year where I felt it was a complete game. We really did a good job at all facets. I think throughout every single game, we've seen the pitching do really well. Then we've seen the hitting do really well. Then we've played some really good defense. We've done some base running. I'd like to see more complete games. I would like to see an error is going to happen here or there, which I've discussed.
Of course.
But I would like to see us put it all together a little bit better. And there's not much more we could do practice-wise. I think it's just execution in the game. I'd like to see on Thursday. Obviously, I'm very interested in seeing a lot of the guys that haven't had opportunities yet. I think we'll run our starting lineup out there with a few new guys mixed in. And then as the games progress, if we're doing a pretty good job, if we're doing what we should be doing, we should be able to blend in and mix in some guys who really haven't had some opportunities yet, which is what I want to do.
All right, cool. That's all for me. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.